This is going to be great. UCLA versus UConn. Now, there's a lot of barking going on right now as to whether or not there should be a reseeding. Gino Auriemma, the UConn coach, is of the opinion we should flip this and reseed it so we get the proper matchup in the championship game rather than maybe all guns ablaze in the semifinal. But you got phenomenal firepower at UConn, led by Paige Bueckers. You got the brilliance of Gino Auriemma. It's his invitational tournament. And obviously, you got Lauren Betts at 6'7", just a monster of a post player for UCLA. I think the burning question is UConn's going to crash a lot of people around Lauren Betts. Does UCLA have some outside shooting power that's going to be able to loosen things up? I got to believe UConn is probably going to win this game. Second game will be the Lady Longhorns of the University of Texas. That used to be a football school, right? Yes.
Right, yeah.
Against South Carolina. That's all things Dawn Staley. That's going to be a cool basketball game. There's no doubt about the fact that Texas is loaded, led by Madison Booker and Tay Jones. Between them, they're averaging 28 points a game. That's a lot of firepower Lady Longhorns have. But Dawn Staley is brilliant, and she's excellent at executing people in certain defensive stances to slow the other person's firepower down. I got South Carolina having their hands full. I got the Longhorns to win. I guess I'm picking UConn and Texas to probably get to the finals. Sidebar note, a year ago this week, you and I did an extensive series of conversations, the growth and the explosion of women's basketball, the country's reaction, all things Caitlin Clark. Do you know they've lost 2/3 of their TV ratings this year?
Really?
They're not watching the NCAA women's tournament, which is too bad because those Final Four, plus Juju Watkins and what she meant to USC before she got hurt, there's an awful lot of real good talent on the basketball floor. Last year, during the run with Caitlin Clark from the Elite Eight into the Final Four, 6.2 million average viewers. This year, 2.9 million. Fans are just not taken to watch the women's game now. Last year, was it an anomaly because of the brilliance of Caitlin Clark and what she's meant to the game? Where are the viewers considering how good some of these teams are? Reaction?
Just giving some thought to that Caitlin Clark angle, because, she gets so much crap and hate, partly because she's white, and that's part of, she's got disproportionate reaction and response because she was a white girl out there playing. But if you buy into that theory, then this tournament, with Lauren Betts and Paige Bueckers, you would expect the same thing. So I think what this is proving to us is that Caitlin Clark, uniquely Caitlin Clark, not her skin color, is what made it so special last year.
Concur. And by the way, that then spilled over to the WNBA, where her first year was brilliant. Their ratings rocketed. The league expanded by 4 more teams because of her arrival and the popularity. And she took a lot of heat too, which is a sad commentary on appreciate the person. The hell with the color of the person. Right. Appreciate the person and the impact that Caitlin Clark has made on women's basketball a year ago today and what she made in the WNBA her first year. All right, who's going to win here in these Final Four? Women.
Dawn Staley she's like, she'll outsmart you. I think she is a gamer. And so, I got to believe South Carolina is going to win. You got to go in the other way. I've got to root for UCLA over UConn. Normally the UCLA women, I don't really think of them as a dominant program. I always think if we're talking LA colleges, I'm thinking it's the Trojans that have always been better at women's basketball.
Oh, exactly. For years and years and decades upon decades, an awful lot of great players have come through the Lady Trojan basketball program. But I'll tell you what, if that final turns out the way you projected, you think there'll be a little bit of steam coming out of the ears of Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley in a matchup in the NCAA women's championship game with those two coaches, because those two coaches are, they can borrow my phrase, bleeping brilliant.
Yeah, they are, but when they start whining about reseeding, it's just like, stop with that nonsense. Just focus on the game. I'm calling it out. UCLA, South Carolina, and I'd like to see UCLA win the whole thing. I'm going to put my money on that.
Okay, fans forum chat box, answer this question, please. Did you watch the NCAAs last year because of Caitlin Clark? Why do you think fans are not flocking to the TV to see this group of really talented women in this year's NCAA tournament? We're not done with basketball. One more topic